Alright everyone, if you knew how big of a fan I was of the R18, we're kicking it up. Oh, we're leveling up. Power. Oh, look at that screen. That is something to behold. And then bike on. Oh boy. Alright, let's put this in neutral. Lots of things signaling for me here. We got the ABS and looks like probably traction control. Just warning us, making sure, I think this is like it's working. We're in rock mode. This bike has three ride modes: rock, roll, and rain, I believe. And if I'm wrong, I'll have it on the screen for you. But lots to look at. A nice arrangement of gauges up here. Oh boy. Well, we're gonna have to deal with that. Hopefully with the closed. Oh, that's annoying. How do we turn that off? Oh boy. We won't worry about it. We're just gonna deal with it like somebody talking, like we're talking over somebody. And hopefully the audio doesn't pick it up too bad. But guys, welcome to the R18 B, or the R18 Bagger. And this bike is awesome. I love the R18. It wasn't the classic, but with the first edition, which I rode this summer. And boy, was I enthusiastic to know that they had a few different versions. The Transcontinental is the other one coming out, and the classic edition, which is like has leather bags, which is basically the standard edition of the R18. But we're here on the R18 B, and we're gonna give this thing a proper go at it. But lots of things to look at here. We got the gas gauge to the left. We got tachometer with our RPM here, left of center. Right of center, we've got, oh no, this is the tachometer. This is going to be miles per hour. And then power reserve, which percentage wise, it's just telling you your battery's at 100%. So that's good to know. Can we please stop with the music? Ay, ay, ay. If I take a strike for this. Are we on a cruiser? Oh, this is a cruiser. I'm pretty sure this is a cruiser. Let me get it behind this car here. Oh. This bike's got plenty of juice, as we say. Well, as I say it right now, because I don't really use that term. But this bike has plenty of go. And what are you doing here, car? The sound on this bike is just mean. I love this, the sound of the exhaust and the engine on this bike. We've got the 1800 cc boxer engine, which is just a really cool looking cruiser engine. It's the biggest boxer engine, production boxer engine that BMW's ever built, and boy does it go. We got a really cool addition here. Not only is this the R18 B, but it's all of its features are blacked out on this bike, which is really cool. I mean, BMW didn't just put out a couple of different editions of this motorcycle available to buy. It took like the best of the best, and you know, and I'm loving the style, and man, this bike not only is nice to look at, it's awesome to ride. It's no different from the typical R18. Has stabilization control, which I think when you're this guy keeps forgetting that we can just roll through these stop signs together. When you're talking about the R18 and these big boxer engines that have the rocker boxes on the sides that just jut out from the engine, that it looks like it might be unwieldy, right? It might feel like it feels like it might be unbalanced, but what it has is stabilization control. But basically, as soon as you turn the bike on, and this is what I was getting at, when you turn the bike on, it has this shake to it, and I think what that's doing, and I'm just guessing at this, is calibrating that stability control, and it really makes it so that when you're riding the bike, it just feels like so well balanced. Now, aside from being having a gigantic fairing and a huge display here on the R18 B, you've also, from what I've been told, it also is up a little higher off the ground. I'll put the comparison as far as seat height goes between the R18 and the R18 B, because it might just not be seat height, it might also be ground clearance. So I'll put those specs down here for you guys to take a look at. Let's see if we can't turn this off. There we go. Too late. Missed my opportunity. Alright, here we go. Oh, it leans nice. You know, that first turn for me always on a new bike is a little cautious, but now we know that we're where we are. We're gonna lean it. We're gonna lean it the best that we can, and so, while we still feel safe and comfortable on this motorcycle. I mean, this speaker, they have these awesome Marshall speakers both here and on the bags, but I just don't want to listen to it. Turn it off. Almost killed it, even though we're in first gear. Now, throttle response here is I mean, it's somewhat linear on this motorcycle, but when you get up and go, holy crap, it goes. It's got power to spare. And I'll put the engine, both horsepower and torque numbers down here, because I mean, this is no slouch when you're talking about big cruisers, and this is definitely more like a touring cruiser. I will say, you know, the seat to me doesn't feel like as plush as maybe like a Harley seat, or even an Indian, one of their big touring cruisers. But it's nice. It's got a firm feel to it. It's got made of a material here that's not letting me slide around. It's just nice. Yeah, can we just go back to the bike? There we go. That's something nice to look at. Now, as typically with a bike that's got a big fairing up in front here, we are getting some buffeting, and you can probably hear it in the audio. But it's nothing that's too overwhelming. It's nothing that you're not going to find on a typical big bagger cruiser that has this kind of fairing that's putting that air, trying to go right over your head instead of hitting you right in the chest. I'm somebody who rides without one though, so buffeting is something always that's going to be an issue for me when I'm riding a bike that's not my own, and it's something that I'll talk about. I mean, this isn't overwhelming by any means, but again, it definitely, I can feel it here shaking my brains. But because of this nice fairing, I don't have a lot of wind on my hands. Because of the big boxer engine, I don't have a lot of wind on my feet. Someone did ask me this after riding the R18 first edition last time. They asked if your feet got hot because of the proximity to the engine, and I mean, even now, and the last time I rode this bike was in the summer, I didn't have any problems with heat, and I'm not having any problems with heat this time either. Again, I love the sound that comes out of the R18. Nothing to complain about. And because you got the wind, or because you got this big fairing blocking the wind quite a bit, you get to hear that engine a little bit more, a little bit better. Woohoo! And oh man, it does sound nice. Definitely, like in the lower RPM, it has that growly sound, and then you know, a higher pitch, which is always typical on a motorcycle when you get into the higher RPM. But still, this sound is really nice, really throaty, and something that you would expect from a big bike like this. All right, as we go along on this ride too, we're gonna get into some curvier sections. Hopefully we won't get behind too many cars, so we can really get into them, because I really like to feel how it feels, to see if I can tell a big difference between the standard R18 and the R18 B. Obviously, there's different handlebars here too. They're coming back towards you a little more than the standard R18, and the riding position here is really, really nice. You've got the footboards here to put your feet up on, and you're going to be comfortable in the saddle here for long distances. It's really nice. The one thing I will add, though, at least on this version, is there's no adjustable windshield. This windshield looks like it's staying put where it is. So there's no, I believe on the Transcontinental, and I will put that here for you if it's something that it does. It has a power up and down mirror. And if it's not, I will definitely let you know. Now, something I wanted to see if this bike has as a feature is the hill assist. And if we can get to a red light, typically on a test ride, you don't want to stop. But if we can get on an incline, I can test the hill assist to see if that works. And that's a really nice feature. It's something that was on the S1000 XR that I rode yesterday. And I would assume on a big bike like this, where that would come in handy, so you don't have to hold that brake down, and the brakes will engage for you, that you don't have to worry about it. So you can hear that real low growl here in the low RPM. It sounds really cool. It's almost like if those of you who can remember, or those of you who might still have like an old diesel truck, that real throaty sound, that's what it reminds me of. It's not exactly the same sound, but close to the same pitch, I think. See it. Never really went over the controls, so let's go over those just really quickly. Oh, it's nice when a cruiser can keep up with some of these bikes up ahead. You know, we've got the I think we've got like the F900 XR for sure, and probably the S1000RR and the S1000R. So yeah, I mean, when your cruiser can keep up, that tells you something. Obviously, if they really wanted to leave me behind, they could. So let's talk about controls. On the right here, you have the power on switch. You've got what looks like a lock and key, so maybe you're like setting your alarm. I'll have that on the screen if I'm not right about that. And then your on and off switch. The bike has keyless start, so once you hit that power switch, then everything's ready to go, and you can hit the ignition switch in order to start the bike. You probably saw that happen when we got on. On the left here, we have your cruise control up on top. Maybe this is the menu select. Let's try this button. Nope, I don't know what that is. Maybe that's grip warmer. I don't know. There's a button next to the hazards that I don't know what it does. It's not the ejection seat, that's for sure. You got your menu toggle, ride mode. We're in rock, which is like the sport mode, essentially, for the R18. And then your self-canceling turn signals, left and right here, and then right underneath that is the horn. We're just past sunset here, I think so. The sun's going down. Video quality hopefully isn't terrible. Here we go. Yeah, man, this bike for its size for sure is really confident in a turn. I can tell you that much. So at stop here, I can get, if I kind of sit up in my seat because it's wide, I can get 2 flat feet on the ground. Your foot pegs here aren't like huge, but still, I mean, it's plenty enough to get your foot on there. Oh, I don't want to put my face shield up because you can hear the music. I don't want to take a copyright strike. So yeah, whether or not you can get both feet down, somebody my height, which is 5'6", with about a 30-inch inseam, I can flat foot both sides if I sit up in my seat. But even if I'm sitting, you know, slouched in my seat, I can still get two good feet down on both sides. Not tippy toes, but like the entire ball of my foot. And like I said, this bike with the stability control, it doesn't, even when I started to lean it over a little one way or the other, when I kind of rock it back and forth just to test the weight of the bike, still feels super stable. And I tested it before, but we went at slow speeds on the first edition R18, and this bike handles really well. So this is going to get into a section here, and it looks like we got some cars turning with us, so we might not really be able to get into it. We're going to do our best though, where it gets a little windy. See how well we can take this. Again, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a big bike. And I'll put the exact specification as far as the weight goes for this motorcycle. I mean, this is a big bike, and to be able to lean it over like that in a kind of a sharper, slower turn, I mean, it says something. Oh, I tried to stay balanced there as long as I could without putting my foot down. I kind of failed. And by all means, that was a fail on me, not on the motorcycle. So, doesn't have a huge step up for the passenger seat on the R18 B. You know, sometimes on these baggers, when you have that passenger seat, it kind of rises up a much higher than the rider seat. This one, you know, obviously there's a little bump there for you to stop you from going back much further, but it's not like a big step up. So let's see if we can't test out this. Let's see if this has hill assist. It does. That was terrible. Boy, I look like I don't know what I'm doing. There, hill assist. That's what I was trying. So let's see, it gauges the little H here, which means if I just give it another good squeeze and it disengages. And you can also just go and it'll disengage itself. But to me, I don't want to surge forward too fast, so just disengage it. You can give it a hard squeeze, and sometimes I found with the hill assist, when you give it a really hard squeeze, you end up revving the engine a little bit, and that's what I ended up doing back there. It kind of threw me off balance a little bit, which is something you don't want to do with a big bike like this. We'll see if we can engage it again here. So last time I disengaged it by giving the brake a good squeeze. This time we'll just ride out of it. So there you go. And this is, you know, if you're going to be in neutral and you don't want to have your hand on the brake on an incline either, you just engage that hill assist. Now let's see how much I have to give it for it to disengage. Oh, see, a little bit of a surge, and that's what I don't like about, especially on an unfamiliar bike, with a bike with a lot of low end torque. What I will do though at this point is ask you guys if you guys have any questions about the R18 B. Make sure you leave those in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I cannot answer them, I will make sure that I track down that answer for you. One of the things that I love about BMW motorcycles, and you know, some other brands do this, some Triumph does this pretty well too, is just the little small attention to details, and the little touches that they put on their motorcycles. I mean, this isn't a little touch, but man, you've got this really gorgeous screen here, and it's you know, it's got a chrome bezel around it, which makes it look even cooler, even nicer. You also have the BMW logo right here, right on inside your fairing, and man, it's these little touches that mean a lot, at least in my book, when you're talking about motorcycle design. You know, you got all LED lighting on this bike. Just a gorgeous bike from front to back, and it really, you know, has a real classy feel to it. And you know, you say what you will about Harley. Harleys make really nice bikes. They have a really nice fit and finish. But there's something about the R18 that kind of just, in my book, just takes it kind of to another level. Again, just my opinion, and make sure, I'm sure you will, leave your opinion about the R18 down below if you've got one. Oh, but brake check. Yeah, those analog brakes are good. And you know, obviously when you've got a big bike like this, analog brakes are a big deal, because you don't want to end up in a skid on a big, you know, I'm guessing this bike is close to 800, if not over 800 pounds. On a big bike like this, you don't want to end up in a skid. You don't. Trust me. Yeah, this is the twisty part of the ride, and we are not going to be able to get into it with all these cars. That's a bummer. We'll do our best here. Nope. just not letting us. But I'll tell you, in slow speed, oh, there we go. This guide for BMW is awesome. Oh man. You know, obviously this bike isn't nimble, but you can really lean into a turn. You know, my first impression about the big Boxer engine was worrying about this is leaning into a turn, and not necessarily the weight of the bike, but you know, these things are sticking out quite a ways. You know, not any further than the pegs, but it's just something that I worried about, and it's nothing. There's nothing to it. Nothing like getting the adrenaline going. All right. Well, you know what, guys? That was for sure the end of the spirited riding on this test ride route. I know, because I've been riding it all day, and as you can see, the sun is set and it's getting dark. We don't want to let this video quality just go to complete crap. So we're gonna end it here. Make sure you leave those questions down in the comments if you got them. If you like this video, you found it at all helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you are out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy, and I am